You can feel it in your chest, how the air becomes heavier when you think of him. Not out of pain, but out of presence. Like something sacred is asking to be acknowledged. And the angels whisper, "This isn't over." Not because of longing or memory, but because something divine still breathes between you. There is a story unfolding, written in the ink of soul contracts, and it's no coincidence that he keeps coming back to your thoughts. He still wants to try again. Not out of desperation, but because his heart has started to ache for truth, and in that truth he sees you. You were sent to awaken what was dormant in him, to stir the waters that had long gone still. He didn't expect it. He wasn't prepared for the mirror you held up. But the mirror didn't just reflect him. It showed what could be, if only he could confront the parts of himself he buried. The angels say, he walks away because your presence is too honest. He returns because your love feels like home. This man is not just someone from your past. He is a soul trying to find his way back to the light, and your light was the first he ever truly recognized. But what if the one thing standing in his way is connected to you? Not a flaw, not a mistake, but a vow your soul made, long before either of you understood the weight of love. You are not here to save him, but you were chosen to awaken him. And in doing so, you are also called to remember who you are. His path is his own, but your energy still lingers in the silent spaces between his thoughts. And God has not turned his face away from this story. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand, that we should walk in them. Ephesians 2 verse 10. There's a weight in him that you can't quite reach. A silence behind his eyes that speaks louder than any words he's ever said. And maybe you've asked yourself, did I do something wrong? Was I too much, or not enough? But the angels are clear, this is not your burden to bear. He moves through his world armored, not from pride, but from fear. Fear of being seen, truly seen. Of being known beyond the surface, where his wounds still whisper stories he never dared to share. And your love, it touched those places. That's why he withdrew. Because when your presence met his pain, he was forced to feel, to remember, to admit that maybe he didn't know how to hold something so real. His fear is not of you, the angels say, but of what you awaken in him. He's been shaped by things he doesn't talk about, by memories that linger behind closed emotional doors. And loving you meant those doors began to open. He didn't expect your love to resonate in the quiet corners of his soul. Didn't expect your kindness to confront his shame. He thought he could keep it under control, until you came along and showed him that love, real love, isn't tidy. It's disruptive, transformative. This wasn't about right or wrong timing. This was about readiness. And no matter how much he wanted to want it, he didn't yet know how to receive something as vast as what you offered. Still, that doesn't mean your connection wasn't sacred. It means he was never taught how to feel safe inside something sacred. So if he kept you at arm's length, it wasn't rejection. It was protection of an old version of himself that is slowly coming apart. You didn't break him. You cracked the shell he thought he needed to survive. And now, the angels are waiting, watching, holding the space for what comes next. You have given from a place so deep that sometimes you forget to refill what you pour out. You've loved through confusion, stayed through silence, held on even when your own hands trembled. But the angels whisper now, not about him, but about you. Your light is sacred. Don't dim it trying to fit into a space where someone hasn't yet opened the curtains. You cannot heal someone else by dimming your own flame. You were never meant to shrink just to be held. You were meant to rise, and to be met. The love you carry, the grace you embody, the gentleness you extend, all of it matters. And it deserves to be reciprocated. Not mirrored out of obligation, but offered freely, by someone who truly sees you. So ask yourself, where did you forget that your needs matter too? He is in a process, yes. But so are you. Your heart is not a waiting room. The angels say, She who nurtures must also rest. She who gives must also receive. And she who holds the world must be held. You are allowed to love and still choose yourself. You are allowed to say, I will not lose myself while loving you. This is your soul's moment to remember, you are not just a chapter in someone else's healing. You are the whole book. The story. The spark. So take this breath not to wait for his change, but to honor your own becoming. Your energy is magnetic because it is whole. And wholeness does not chase. It stands. And in standing, it calls everything aligned to its truth. Return to your center. Return to your softness. Return to the part of you that never needed to be chosen to know your worth. Because even angels rest their wings. So should you. There's something about you that unsettles him. Not in fear, but in revelation. Like standing before a mirror that doesn't lie. You didn't try to change him. You simply existed with honesty. And in that presence, he saw himself, truly for the first time. The angels say, she didn't break him. She reflected him. Your light is not the kind that flatters. It's the kind that illuminates, even the hidden parts. And he wasn't ready for that level of truth. Not yet. When you love someone deeply, you offer them a reflection they can't find anywhere else. Not the version they present to the world, but the one they're trying to escape. You saw his tenderness, his pain, his yearning. And you stayed. But that terrified him. Because being seen in that way means being known. And being known means being vulnerable. For someone used to building walls, that kind of exposure feels like a threat. What you did, perhaps unknowingly, was shatter the illusion he built around himself. And even if he hasn't voiced it, he felt it. And it changed everything. You became the space where his soul was acknowledged. And for a soul that had been long dormant, awakening can be painful. It is not your responsibility to fix what was revealed. It is not your fault that your love unearthed what was buried. You were the mirror, not the creator of his suffering. The angels urge you, do not diminish yourself to ease the discomfort of someone who refuses to grow. You were meant to shine, not to be silenced. If he walked away, it wasn't because he didn't feel. It was because he felt too intensely, and wasn't ready to embrace it all. And still, somewhere within him, the reflection lingers. Because once a soul sees the truth, it can never go blind again. It happens in quiet moments. In the stillness between distractions. In the silence that follows his name in your heart. A shift. He may not articulate it, but the angels have witnessed it. The soul doesn't require words to awaken. It only needs truth. And you have been that truth for him. Something inside him is stirring now. Something ancient. Something sacred. The part of him that longed for genuine connection is beginning to breathe once more. Your love, the angel's whisper, was the catalyst, not the comfort. He's noticing the emptiness in the things that once satisfied him. He's feeling a pull he can't explain. Your memory, your presence, it resonates in places he thought were sealed. He is remembering the sensation of being safe in your energy. He is realizing that what he thought he wanted no longer feels like home. And though he may still be afraid, the angels show us a light beginning to form in his heart. Not yet a fire, but a spark. And sometimes, a spark is all it takes. You were never meant to force him to awaken. You were simply meant to be the scent of spring after a long winter. To walk in beauty and let that beauty draw him forward. He feels it. Even if he doesn't yet understand it. Even if he hasn't named it. Even if he runs. The soul always knows when it's being called home. And your soul is calling his. Not with pressure, not with urgency, but with presence. Don't chase what's already being drawn. Just hold your center. He is feeling it now more than ever. And soon, he won't be able to pretend he doesn't. There's a rhythm to his presence, like waves that kiss the shore only to pull back again. And maybe you've wondered, why does he keep returning if he's only going to leave? The angels speak gently. He returns not because he is certain, but because he cannot stay away. He is caught in a cycle, not of indifference but of fear. Fear of the depth. Fear of losing control. But also, fear of losing you. Each time he pulls away, it's not rejection. It's retreat. It's overwhelm. It's the weight of confronting everything he thought he buried. You showed him something real. And real requires dismantling the false. He doesn't yet know how to stay. Because staying would mean surrender. And surrender, to someone who's lived on survival, feels like defeat. But he returns. Because your energy is not something he can erase. Your voice lives in the echoes of his solitude. Your light is still marked on his path. The angels say, you didn't trap him. He's just not used to being free. This is not your fault. And it is not your responsibility to convince him of what his soul already knows. You are not a lesson he needs to learn. You are the invitation his heart keeps circling back to. So if he comes and goes, understand this, he is not unsure about you. He is unsure about whether he's ready to confront the part of himself that wants you. This is not a game. This is a sacred unraveling. Let him move at his own pace. Let yourself move at yours. And trust that true love does not lose itself in the pursuit. Those who are meant to stay always return, but in a different way. He never expected your love to be so healing. He thought he was too far gone, too guarded, too broken to be reached. But then came your silence that listened, your presence that didn't demand, your light that didn't burn but rather warmed. The angels say, your love did not rescue him. It remembered him. It remembered who he was before the disappointment, before the masks, before he became a stranger to his own softness. You never had to touch his wounds to make them ache. Your energy alone was enough. It slipped past the walls. It found the bruised places. It whispered where words would only have startled. And so he began to soften. Not out loud, not all at once, but in the quiet corners of his inner world. He started seeing things differently, feeling things more deeply. The numbness cracked. Love like yours doesn't scream. It stays. It endures. It believes. Even in the waiting. Even in the uncertainty. But you weren't there to fix him. You were there to reflect what healing could look like. Your strength. Your boundaries, your unwavering grace. He may never say it, but your love is what taught him that love could be safe, that it could be calm, that it could be chosen, not just craved. You became medicine without even knowing. And some souls take time to receive medicine. They fear what it might undo. They resist before they receive. Still, the angels show us this. He is healing. Even now. Even from afar, even in silence. He is healing, because you loved without trying to save. You did not lose yourself. You offered love without conditions. And in doing so, you gave him the one thing no one else ever could, permission to believe he is worthy of being loved, even in the places he never let anyone see. There is a timing that does not belong to clocks, a rhythm that belongs only to the sacred. And this connection, it moves by that rhythm. You may not see it, but the heavens have been aligning every step. The delays, the distance, even the silence, it all carries purpose. The angels speak with reverence. This is not late. This is sacred preparation. You see a man trying to decide, but the angels see a soul being refined. They see the hidden work, the late-night tears, the quiet prayers he doesn't know how to speak out loud. He is being led, not by logic, but by spirit. And though he resists, the pull is growing. Toward you. Toward truth. Toward the healing he never believed he deserved. And so are you. Because this isn't just about him. This is about your own awakening. About the parts of you that remembered how to receive without begging. How to wait without shrinking. How to love without losing your voice. You are not waiting. You are being woven into something larger. The angels have seen the path. And they assure you, this road leads to divine convergence. But not before it leads through surrender. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs 3 verse 5. This is not about control. This is about faith. And faith often looks like stillness in the face of what doesn't yet make sense. Keep walking with your palms open. Keep loving with your roots deep. The plan is already written. And when he returns, not if but when, he'll carry the proof of a man transformed not by pressure, but by presence. There's a place inside him where even light fears to go. A room bolted shut not by anger, but by memories too heavy to lift. And still, your love knocked. You didn't force it open. You waited. You listened. You saw. And the angels whisper, she didn't just want to be loved. She wanted to understand his wounds. That's what frightened him the most. Because no one had ever tried to see him without expecting him to perform. No one had ever wanted the man behind the masks, only the masks. Until you. He doesn't know how to express this yet, but you are the first person who made him feel seen without shame. And that level of intimacy feels more terrifying than rejection. It's easier to pretend he doesn't care. Easier to disappear than to risk being exposed. Because love is a mirror. But vulnerability is a spotlight. And under that light, he sees everything he's been trying to forget. He sees the boy who was never enough. The man who built success on silence. The ache of needing but never asking. And now with you, the walls begin to tremble. He wants to let them fall. But fear still clutches the edges. Because what if he's too much? Or worse, what if he's not enough? The angels are close now. So close. They say, you were sent to be a doorway, not a destination. He must walk through on his own. Do not mistake his silence for absence. He is there. Listening. Feeling. Wrestling. And maybe, just maybe, beginning to believe he could be loved, truly loved, without needing to hide. And I will give you a new heart, and a new spirit I will put within you. Ezekiel 36 verse 26. This love, it's teaching him how to breathe again. Even if every breath feels like a risk. You were never meant to hold him together. Only to remind him he was never broken to begin with. The story unfolding between you isn't about arrival. It's about return. Not to each other, but to yourselves. To the knowing that nothing was ever missing. Only forgotten. The angels exhale as you read this. You did not fail, they whisper. You loved. And love never fails. This journey has asked much of you. To stay soft in the absence of certainty. To remain open while he closed himself off. To love from overflow, not depletion. And now, it asks this, surrender. Not giving up. Letting go. Letting go of how you imagined it would unfold. Of the timeline. Of the outcome. Of needing him to choose you for you to feel chosen. Because you already are. Chosen by God. Held by angels. Seen by the universe that created you in light. You do not have to prove your worth to be loved. You only need to rest in it. And him? He is walking his own path. And whether his journey brings him back to you, or forward without you, it will never erase what was real. What matters now is not whether he stays. What matters is whether you stay true to yourself. Because the kind of love that is meant for you will never ask you to lose yourself to keep it. The angels stand beside you now. Smiling. Soft. Silent. They know what's coming. So release him into his process. And trust, if he is meant to stand beside you, he will. Freely. Fully. Faithfully. What is yours will always find its way. Not through striving, but through surrender. And in that surrender, love becomes not a pursuit, but a promise.